Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. I've got another candidate for mayor who happens to be a neighbor of mine. Diya Atassi is his name, and he's got signs up all over the neighborhood. He's an engineer and a business person, and I think been very involved in the construction industry. And so he's got a voice that also deserves to be heard. Diya Atassi, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Brian, for having me.
Tell me a little bit about
hello, everybody.
Sir. Tell me a little bit about your background and why you're running for mayor.
Yeah. Actually, I moved to Canada in 2001, and I lived in downtown Toronto. I married in 2004. I decided to move to Mississauga. It was the safest city in Canada. I thought it's best choice to raise a family in Mississauga. So I lived near to City Hall. I attend all public meetings regarding every project goes in Mississauga that time. Until today, every public meeting I go and anticipate on this meeting. So I am familiar with all projects in Mississauga, every one by one. And I am a mechanical engineer. I have 3 businesses. I am an art collector and art dealer as well. I established art council. I have with me already 80 artists. We all work together. I'm involved in construction. I do flipping houses. I do construction from zero to end of the house. And I love my city. I saw a lot of problem happening in my city. So I want to have a chance to tell people what's going on.
What are the problems that you see in your city, sir?
Actually, Brian, Mississauga, in the last 15 years, it grows too much. It grows, especially in population. But in services, we are late on services. I know Hazel before, she set the target for Mississauga to be, if you go to the forecast of the population, the forecast was 9,900,000 by the year of 2051, the population should not exceed 1 million. But we are now in 2024, and already the population, it's close to 1 million. During this time, the population go up, but the services, we have lack of services. It's same street, it's same infrastructure, it's same hospitals, nothing new come to Mississauga. So this is my concern. And now...
so you think we're growing too fast, and or if we're growing at the rate we're growing, the infrastructure and services aren't growing at the same rate?
Yeah, exactly. For example, since 1975, we have only 2 hospitals when population was 300,000, but now we are close to 1 million and still we have 2 hospitals only. Even the streets, we didn't see in the last 15 years any a new development to solve the traffic jam. Now, every signal, it's too much traffic because there's no development on the streets.
I'm really worried about South Mississauga. We've got this Brightwater at Mississauga Road and Lakeshore that's going to be, it's 75 acres of land. It's going to be somewhere between 10 and 15,000 people. And they're not adding one lane of roadway, not one lane of roadway. And the solution, I don't think would have been that. It would have been rapid transit and the Port Credit GO and the Huron-Ontario, the terminus of the Huron-Ontario LRT are quite a ways away across the river into Port Credit from where Brightwater is. I think that Lakeshore Road, Mississauga Road, Huron-Ontario, and the other streets, Stave Bank, et cetera, that people are going to be using to get to the highway are going to be an absolute disaster when you get that development. And then Lakeview is 120 acres of land, 25 to 50,000 people, depending on whether this MZO goes through for doubling the density. And again, not one lane of extra traffic and no rapid transit. And Dixie and Cawthra and Ogden and Lakeshore are going to be complete disasters. And I don't know how you can possibly, as a council, approve. I think the developments are wonderful and spectacular, but it's the transit and traffic, the transportation that's a failure, is it not?
Yep, you have to add to this one the project in downtown Mississauga. They already sold YMCA, and they give approval to build 5 towers with capacity of 4,277 units on the same place of YMCA, which will add around 10,000 population to that area, which is already crowded. And even that, they want to demolish YMCA, and they didn't build something similar in downtown. There's no community center to serve all this population and all these towers on the downtown. It's really, as you said, the streets will be totally disaster.
So what's going on, do you think?
Um, Not good planning.
Not
It should
good
be good.
planning.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Even now, they announced that they want to build 4,000 units in Heartland Center near to Costco. And already McLagan, it's one lane going, one lane coming. It will be disaster, McLagan. You know, these days, it's very crowded street. What it will happen when they were going to add 4,000 units there? I am not against building. Okay, build, make more housing because we have shortage in housing. We need housing. But the housing should be combined with proper infrastructure, expanding the school, making new hospital, expanding the street, make good transit solution. So a lot of stuff should done before you think to build more and more and more.
I agree. Let me ask you a question. You say you're in construction and you've been flipping houses and renovating and fixing up houses. What do you think of this fourplex proposal? As you know, what the council did last fall is they agreed with the federal government request to say, as of right, you can turn every single family home into a fourplex, which means that, you know, you live on a nice street just south of me here. Every single house can turn their house into a four separate units.
Yeah,
Are we going to have the servicing and infrastructure, the water, the electricity, the sewage for that? Are we going to allow driveways to take 4 times as many cars? Are we going to allow bigger garages? Are we going to allow on-street parking? What do you think of the fourplex idea?
no, it's not good idea because it's changing the identity of our city. You know, our city, it's when it's built to be a suburban to Toronto. Suburban, it's mean bigger house, a nice community, nice neighborhood. This is the identity of Mississauga. Now we are moving from transforming Mississauga from suburban to urban city. When you want to do that, you have to do the proper infrastructure. I am against to do fourplex in any property. It's killing our identity of the neighborhood.
So I like this current proposal that's in front of Toronto City Council that they passed just yesterday, or last week at least, in regards to on major arterials, what they call major roads. And they've fought about what the major roads were, but major roads that are close to transit, close to infrastructure, et cetera, they're going to allow 6-story developments. And I kind of think that's a good idea. When I think about what some people have described as the worst suburban development ever along, Dundas and areas where you've got this, 1-story, sometimes 2-story strip centers with parking in front of it ad nauseum. To have that redeveloped into a 6-story nice development with retail at street and development above it, I think that makes a lot of sense. But fourplexes on every residential cul-de-sac where there's no transit, there's not adequate infrastructure, and people don't want 4 times as many cars on the street or in the driveways, and they don't want bigger garages built. And, I also think about, we've got lots of rules in regards to amenity space when you build a condominium. What's going to happen? Are they going to demand that every backyard gets split into 4? Do we want that kind of development everywhere?
Sure, no, nobody need that. Yeah. From other hand, the security when you will have more people, you need. Mississauga was ranked the safest city in Canada. Now we are out of the list of the 10 safest city in Canada. It's every day we hear break in here, break car theft from here. So we are not safe anymore like before. 20 years before, I used to not lock my door. Now it's disaster.
So we've talked about planning. What else
Yep.
would you be and affordability? What else would you be focusing on if you're successful as mayor?
Now, regarding the hospitals, the health, we have to cooperate with the local and federal government to solve this issue. This is really very important issue to solve it. I have small idea. I saw it around. In every country, the emergency room, we have really problem in emergency room, right?
Yeah, we certainly do.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main problem, all family doctor, they close at 6 p.m., 6 or 7 maximum. So after 6 p.m., if your son got sick or you have a fever or you have any small issue, you have to go to emergency room. Now, and the emergency should be focused only on emergency cases like heart attack, stroke, or gunshot or stabbing, something really emergency. But if you have a cough, if you have a fever, if you have a small issue, you don't need to go to emergency. So what they are doing a small clinic, which is open for 24 hours. So if you have a fever at night, if you have any small issue at night, you can go to that clinic, which is 24 hours. We don't have this concept here. This really solved the problem of the ER.
So I do think that those family clinics make a sense, and there's been a real dramatic increase in family clinics around, and I think we need more of it. I think one of the biggest problems is that there's a lot of people, and there's been lots of reports written about this, don't have a family doctor anymore, and having that family doctor, that GP, that is going to be the individual that guides you through the system and does the first check and hopefully keeps you out of emergency, I think is critical. Okay, so we've got healthcare. We've got lack of planning, lack of infrastructure. Any other issues that you're really passionate about, sir?
Yeah, actually, transportation, Brian. Transportation, it's not also done properly regarding the efficiency of the transportation. For example, the Bloor Street, the problem of Bloor Street, they're going to do the same on Dundas Street. They have a project on Dundas to put 2 lanes of buses on the middle and just 1 lane for car and other lane the other side. This will kill the businesses. It will kill the people they are transporting by their car. So this project really, it's not efficient. We need to see efficient transportation in our city like other cities around the world. Something advanced, not buses.
So it was interesting. The City of London, England, just released a major report about their new train that's called the Elizabethan line. That it effectively is a old railway line that was then connected right through the center of the city. It's already paid back 200% return. The amount of people using that service is equivalent to 26 lanes of freeway in Houston.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And we've been talking about all day two-way go on the Milton Mississauga line for seemingly 25 years. It could be the equivalent benefit. It has an 8-to-1 benefit to cost ratio according to the analyses that have been done, and yet we do nothing. We do nothing about it. It's abysmal to me. It's shocking to me that city after city proves that kind of investment, that kind of infrastructure can work and take cars off of the street and give people actually a better way to get to work or get to social activities, and yet we don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you got a website that people should go to check you out, sir?
Yeah, atassiformayor.ca.
atassiformayor.ca. Well, good luck, and it's a pleasure to get to know you, and I hope we get together in the park sometime for a walk or a coffee.
Sure, Brian. Thank you for having me.
All the best. We're going to take a break and come back with another mayoralty candidate in just 2 minutes. Stay with us, everybody.